Once upon a very dark time, somewhere between the 13th and 18th centuries, humanity collectively decided that the ultimate threat to civilization wasn't famine, war, or plague, but women who could read. Yes, my friend, at several points in history, educated women were considered so dangerous that the best solution seemed to be lighting them on fire. Because, nothing says civilized society like setting the library on fire because you're scared of the books. The medieval logic, if she knows things, she must be evil. In medieval Europe, knowledge was suspicious. If you were a man, you could be a scholar, a philosopher, or even a grumpy old alchemist who accidentally blows up his own lab. Totally fine. But if you were a woman with the same skill, congratulations, you just earned yourself a one-way ticket to Witch Roast City. The logic went something like this. Can she read? Must be witchcraft. Can she write? Definitely witchcraft. Can she do math? That's basically demonic sorcery. Can she heal the sick using herbs? Burn her. Can she recite the alphabet backward? Call the Pope immediately. The church, courts, and fearful communities saw educated women as potential agents of the devil, dangerous vessels carrying forbidden knowledge. Some were accused of casting spells, while others were accused of merely thinking. Salem and the coffee shop gossip that got out of hand. Fast forward to 1692, Massachusetts, USA. Salem was a tiny Puritan town, and honestly, there wasn't much entertainment. No Netflix, no TikTok, no football season. Just farming, praying, and accusing people of witchcraft. Here's the setup. A few teenage girls got bored, had strange fits, and suddenly claimed half the town was possessed by Satan. If a woman could read scripture without moving her lips, witch. If she questioned authority, witch. If she had too many cats, definitely witch. In the Salem witch trials, several educated women, teachers, midwives, and healers were accused simply because they knew things. Out of 200 accused, 19 were executed, mostly women. Lesson learned? Never be smarter than the guy judging you. Joan of Arc. Too brave, too smart, too toasty. Speaking of tragedies wrapped in absurdity, let's talk about Joan of Arc. In 1431, this 19-year-old French peasant girl led armies, strategized military campaigns, and claimed to hear divine voices. In other words, she was basically a medieval Marvel superhero. But she was also a woman. And in the 15th century, that was like carrying a neon sign that read, "Please accuse me of heresy." The English captured her, put her on trial, and decided she was too clever for her own good. Verdict? Burn her alive. The lesson from Joan's story: win too many battles and the men in charge will fight you, but with fire. The 16th to 18th century witch hunts, when Europe went full barbecue mode. Between the late 1400s and 1700s, Europe went through a phase. Historians call it the Great Witch Hunts. I call it the Dark Roast Era. Educated women, especially midwives, herbalists, and early scientists, were prime targets. Why? Because they dared to know how the human body worked. Imagine curing a fever with willow bark tea instead of chanting Latin. Heresy. By some estimates, 40,000 to 60,000 people were executed during these hunts, around 75 to 80% of them women. Among those, many were literate, independent, or simply too outspoken. In short, if you were a woman who liked books, congratulations. You were basically volunteering to become firewood. The absurd irony. The same societies that burned women for knowing too much later hired men to study the exact same knowledge. Herbal medicine? After killing thousands of women who practiced it, universities hired men to turn it into science. Astronomy? Women who tracked the stars were witches. But when Copernicus did it, he got a statue. Philosophy? A woman writes a treatise, she's heretical. A man writes the same thing. He's a genius ahead of his time. It's like burning down a bakery, then giving Michelin stars to the guy who builds another one next door. Yes, it's tragic. Yes, it's infuriating. But the absurdity of it is undeniable. Entire societies panicked because a woman opened a book. Imagine going back in time and telling them, "Relax, folks. In the future, women will have entire libraries on their phones, and no one's getting burned." They'd probably light you on fire just for saying that. The fire went out, but the fear lingers. We don't burn educated women anymore, thankfully, but the echoes remain. Even today, women in some parts of the world face backlash for seeking education or speaking out. The difference now? We have history on record, and history is shouting at us. Every time society feared an educated woman, society lost. So next time you pick up a book, give a silent salute to those women of the past who risked and often lost their lives for daring to know things. They weren't witches. They were pioneers. The world just wasn't ready for them yet.